back to Crow Mountain Armory. I want to apologize for the long delay. You're going to see that there's been a lot of changes around here. I've been working on this basement. That's been my top priority. It's been delivered by higher authorities than myself. So we're going to do a follow-up video now on this Chinese SKS bandolier and some of the modifications I've been making over the last couple of months, finding things that work and things that don't work. So to begin with, the big thing that's been revolutionary for me is a good friend of mine recommended these for a different Chinese chest rig that he'd used, but the purpose is the same. These are 3D printed magazine retention devices. And the way that these work is there's this clamshell and it's been 3D printed with a little ridge inside so that when the magazine inserts in, it kind of secures itself around this lip on the magazine latch. And the magazine goes in and that provides just enough tension on the outside to prevent it from just simply falling free without assistance. But it's not enough resistance to cause you to have any problems withdrawing the magazine. These actually have made this chest rig perfect. And I'll show you how. So now you have in here the ability for you to just simply retain the magazine under most circumstances. I mean, they'll obviously still pull out and they'll fall out if you put enough effort into it. But just in casual running, this isn't going anywhere. It's going to stay in that position and it's going to be ready for you to withdraw. Another thing that I recommended and that I finally did get a hold of are these Ranger plates for the Stenag 20 round magazines, and they really do make this a much better setup. And I think they wind up being the better of the two magazines that I recommended for this use because they fit better in the pockets. When you put the Ranger plates on the 20 round PMags, you wind up with something that's a little bit, I just say a little bit too long. If you could find or 3D print lower Ranger plates for these PMags, I think it would work out better. As you can see, it's a little hard to get those back in. But with the retention devices inside, I don't see a big problem with that anymore. And frankly, you could keep these flaps open and short of taking an absolute tumble, not really worry about your magazines just falling out randomly. And once this tension is put up on your body and there's not any looseness left in this pouch, those magazines stay in there very solidly. Now with these little 3D printed things, if you do find trouble with them coming out with the magazines, if there's something about your pocket you use them in that it's causing you issues, what I did was just get hook and loop. I put hook at the bottom here to provide resistance against it rolling out. And then I took a little bit of 3M loop, which I don't know if you can see it very well in there, but there is some in there, and you just take this, insert it down, push it up against that hook, and the loop catches up, and you don't have to worry about that coming out short of a doomsday. And you can see the retention on these is phenomenal. These are crappy, I think these are, I can't remember if these are Gen 1 or Gen 2. I think they're Gen 1 PMags. And they retain great. This is a Gen 3 PMag and it retains perfectly as well. And this is just a cheap Condor magazine holder that had those crappy elastic overloops, and now this works fantastic. So these are useful for a lot of different purposes. I would say they're almost worth the cost of the 3D printer alone. You can get a 3D printer on a good deal for $150, $200. And if you wanted to buy a bunch of those retention devices, as many as I've printed in the last couple of days, you're going to spend about that much. So, cost amortization. So here you got a much better rig. If I get a chance to go shooting in it, I'll cut some footage in of me using it. I'm pretty sure there's some floating around there somewhere. I ran some competition in this and I did great. I qualified in all my exercises, and I had no issues with pulling, retaining, or dealing with any of the magazines. Everything went in and out perfect. So I'd say, you get this together, this whole rig together, it's probably $15 to $30 for the webbing, and then $20 of medical, $50 of radio, maybe worst case scenario $80 worth of magazines. For under the cost of a PSA rifle, you're looking at the full kit you need to use it. And so this is a fantastic way to start. Definitely get these 3D printed magazine retainers. And if you're interested, you can contact me. I've got time on the 3D printer. If you're interested, I can put some together for you.